Good morning, good evening, man. Good evening, good evening. I'm not gonna have any music on this one, man, because it's not something that I really want to celebrate. But it's something that we need to talk about. And all you men out there, man, it's time for you to step up. We're part of it. We're part of the freaking problem. We think that it's cool for men to conquer women and do other things that are inappropriate. We just don't see the bad in it, man. And it's time for us to stop. And this is coming to me because personally, me, myself, I also did not stop something. And because I didn't step in and do what I was supposed to be doing, it happened to me with that same person. You see, when I was a kid, I had a friend that I looked up to, right? Because people look up to people, right? And we like to follow people, and they can't do no wrong except that these people have secrets that are hurting other people. And we hear the stories, but we just continue to just let it in one ear and let it out the other ear, right? We just think it's okay because this person is special in some way, right? Well, that's not true. The truth of the matter is that we need to start stepping up and changing this thing. We need to fucking be real men out there stopping other people and say, yo, that's fucking ugly what you're doing call people out in front of other men. Because real men love and take care of people. They don't hate and suppress and do whatever it takes to hurt somebody else. You see, when I was 9 years old, I was talking to a friend of mine. He came up, but I was 9. I was an innocent kid. But even then, we need to be teaching our kids, man, to stand up and talk about things like this, right? Because this guy told me, I was 10 years old, and he's like, yeah, I was up on the roof, with that girl. She was actually mentally handicapped. And this guy took her to the roof and raped her. And instead of me saying something, I just was like, wow, I thought it was crazy. But I didn't step out and go tell anybody. And then a year later, he molested me. And this is what happens. These people get away with it. Sexual predators, right? And if you're laughing at somebody telling you about some crazy night that they had with some stranger and they took advantages of stuff that had nothing, that they should not have done, you're laughing about that. You're part of the problem. Right? And so women won't come out and say it because men are not stepping in and saying, hey, we'll protect you from that. This is outrageous right now that I saw somebody, a Christian, and a fellow Christian, man, but I look up to him, and but we're all flawed, right? So I'm just gonna go with that. Sitting here and saying specifically, man, oh, this is a good start that he's saying sorry. When this man, and I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, trying to call anybody out, but when somebody goes and talks about the minimal things, the little tiny things, well, I'm sending naked pictures of myself and stuff like that. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And so if they're apologizing for the small things that people think are inconsequential and don't matter, and it's still freaking outrageous to be doing that, right? Sending naked pictures of yourself without people asking you for that, right? Just, and telling people, that I can do things for you if you do things for me. If that's what they're doing here and they're saying, underneath there's freaking lots of things that are awful and horrible and have been painful to a lot of people. And for you to say on your page, to use it as a post to help somebody because we're believers, that's not, we can pray for somebody, but to sit there and kind of like erase what's happening to this family over here is ridiculous. Because let me tell you, if it was your child, would you say that's great that he's apologizing, or would you go after this person and try to hurt them for hurting your child? I mean, it's ridiculous how because somebody's famous, we just want to jock them and just follow the person. People are flawed. And if they really want help, they need to step away from everything and go get the help. And there's a lot that needs to happen for somebody to really get help. To come and kind of pretend to apologize and then say, I need help, is not the answer. And we don't need people supporting that. What you need is people supporting, asking, what did you do? What happened? How many people? We need to get to the bottom of this, right? It's time for us to shout this behavior out. So if you know of people that have done things and they've told you their stories, call them out, man. It's time to call them out, because if they're around your children, they'll do that to you. What's wrong with us? We have to protect our family, right? And this guy molested a mentally handicapped girl. He's like, oh, she's sexy and all that. I'm like, and I was 10 thinking, I'm like, and I thought he was cool. And then he molested me. And I kept it in silence. And women out here, they need people to sit there and freaking stand up for them. They need real men to say no. So there's people out there in our industry that I've been hearing that have done some stuff. Yo, I'm going to speak to you. And I'm going to call you out in front of everybody. So don't be around me. If you're a predator, don't be around me or have a gun or something, because I'm going to call you out. It's not okay. We have to protect our dancers. We have to protect our people. We have to protect our community. And I need more people to stand up and say something. We need to stop it, man. Fame equals power to a lot of people, and they use their power to get other people that are needy to do things that they should not have to be doing. I'm just being honest here. And people who are predators have been doing it for years. Years. I know that the person that's being defended here has been doing it for decades. Decades. And I know some people in my crew. I'm going to call them out too. Back in the days, when we split up, the other crew was out there game banging people. It's just ridiculous telling me these stories. And I look at it in retrospect. It's like, that's pretty ugly. The photographer's coming to take pictures of you guys and you're all having sex with her. You think that that's cool. Come on, men. Real men don't need all that. Real men know who they are, man. And I'm just tired of people just brushing this aside. Look, man, if you love somebody, then do it privately. Don't go on a page and try to freaking campaign for somebody who you don't even know all the facts yet about. And saying that somebody, it's a good start. That's not a good start. He's not telling all the ugly stuff. He's saying this little, he's not even really apologizing. And the person's been destructive in our culture. Yes, he's done some good things, but he's been destructive. Come on, man. You guys, we got to be better than this. We've got to stand up. If you've heard from any of these people, you know who I'm talking about, fess up and say something. I remember that this person told me this, and that's not cool. You know what's cool? It's freaking standing up for people. That's what's cool. So be a man, and let these women be able to tell their stories, because they know that we're going to support them instead of ridicule them. All right? This is decades of abuse, man. And it's been, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, I know people that worked years ago that was saying that. And I know in the other industry, I've heard already that when he became somewhere else, he was doing that, and people have told him stop doing it. And now that he's caught, he's out here saying it and trying to get away with it. And you guys are allowing that. Be a man, stand up. And that's wrong. That's a wrong behavior. Taking advantage of any freaking woman like that is a wrong behavior. And that's a problem, and it's not something you want around your kids. As far as I'm concerned, we should be boycotting that. We should be boycotting anybody who has been anywhere around kids doing the wrong things. And if you are being talked about and I know about it, I'm going to be in your face when I see you. I'm telling you that right now, because I'm going to protect the women in our culture. I'm going to protect the women that dance as hard as men do and don't deserve to be treated that way. Shame on you, and we're going to be shaming your ass. God bless you. All the people who stand up right now, and I've seen a lot of people standing up and saying, what's wrong with you? To people who are posting up and trying to protect somebody without knowing all the facts. And no, it's not okay that he's sorry. It is not okay. It's not a start. A start is apologizing to these people and telling the truth of what he's done to their children that will probably not be good parents or probably not have good relationships because of this. We've got to get our shit together, man. As Christians, you got to get your stuff together. Like, what is really important? Yes, forgiveness is important, but so is support for the other people who are suffering by people in power. I don't know where in your Bible God was hanging out with people with money and in power. So just keep that straight. Check yourself. We have to stop allowing guys to tell us stories of crazy stuff that they've done to women and not standing up and saying, hey, that's not okay. That's some bullshit. I can't be around you. And letting people from young understand that that is not okay. We've got to stand up, man. It's your turn to do it. I love you, man. Peace out there. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but I'm trying to be there for people who need it. And it's time for you to do it too. If you have a story that you know about somebody who's hurting people, especially in our community and what we do, you have an obligation to stand up and say something. And stop protecting people who don't need to be protected. Yes, it's okay. Let that person go. I'm ready for when that person has really been sorry to accept him in my life and to help and support him. But right now, I'm worried about the people who he's hurt. And you should too. Peace.